changing all the time. Living in a rhythm where the minutes working all the time. We are always running for the thrill of it, thrill of it. Always pushing up the hill, searching for the thrill of it. All along we are calling out now again. Never looking down, I'm just in awe of what's in front of me. So come on, deliver from inside. All we got is tonight. That is right to first light. Is it random? What you feel for become one? I feel what you feel for become one. Is it random? What you
You're my delight. get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
What about the next step?
for something. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them wanna get used by you. Some of them wanna abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Hold your head up, keep your head up.
Never said a word, you didn't send me no letter. Don't think I could forgive you. See, our word is slowly dying, I'm not wasting no more time. Don't think I could believe you. Yeah, you never said a word, you didn't send me no letter. Don't think I could forgive you. See, our word is slowly dying, I'm not wasting no more time. Don't think I could believe you. Yeah. You never said a word, you didn't send me no letter. Don't think I could forgive you. See, our word is slowly dying, I'm not wasting no more time. Don't think I could believe you. Yeah, our hands will get more wrinkled and our hair will be gray. Don't think I could forgive you. And see, the children are starving and their houses were destroyed. Don't think they could forgive you. Yeah.
Hello, and I'm back. So I hope you like the music and the video. So now this is the best way to understand that how I use a liner for different shading styles. So I'm gonna shade almost the whole flower, the rose, with the liner. Here I'm using a 5 liner. It is not a 3 liner anymore. So if you see those small textures I'm creating, trying to make the rose as it is in the reference image. I love to pull off all the textures, so I don't like really smooth tattoos. I mean to say, where there is smoothness, I go with really good smoothness, but wherever I see textures, I just try to work try to pull as it is, so I do not miss out any texture. I mean, I try my best to pull it off. The one thing I love about the cartridges, the one I'm using, I use Cheyenne cartridges, is they are made with really high quality material and they're very precise. The flow of the ink is really good through it. I'm gonna mostly pick up medium color tone, that is a third cap from the top. So this is the hand motion which works really well to shade with liners. So you can see right in here that the bottom part is darker where I have had a little more pressure, and while I was coming up through the bottom, I started reducing the pressure, which created the light shade. And when I work with the liners, where I work on shading part with liners, I try to use this crosshatch shading style. So what I do is, if my hand motion is going from left to right, creating horizontal lines, so the next layer is going to be diagonal lines over it. So if I want more or the darker area, I will have then vertical lines going over it. So I'm putting layers one on the other. So wherever I want the darkest area, I'll have like 4 to 5 layers where the lines are going in different directions, every time and then with every layer. So if you don't know what is cross-hatching style or cross-hatching shading, you can just Google it. Just type cross-hatching and you'll see what I'm talking about. But in my case, actual cross-hatching, you will see really hard textures and really cleaner lines which are crisscrossing, intersecting each other. But in my case, I go really soft, and the lines are much closer that you don't see the lines. It looks like it is done with a magnum, very soft and very clean. So wherever I need the dark tones, I put more pressure. The use of A&D, or some people use Vaseline, and there are many other products in the market. So in my case, the use of A&D is more, and that really helps me to keep the tattoo clean, which I think is a really important part of this art form. So you need to keep your tattoo very clean, very neat while working, without affecting your stencil. So I don't use water or green soap or any other liquid form to clean my tattoo multiple times. Instead of that, I use more A&D, which helps me keep it clean all the time. And I use really soft tissues. So I use really soft ones. They're a bit expensive in the market compared to what we get in India. These are the most expensive ones which can be used for tattoos, but they are really soft, and that helps me to work like on long sessions, because the damage on skin or the irritation caused by rubbing or cleaning the tattoo again and again is pretty less. I also have a style to, I have a way I process, the flow I go with. I start from the bottom of the tattoo, and then either I go on the right or the left. So I just go, I will not go straight towards the center of the tattoo. I would always start with the bottom, go a bit straight, and then turn left or right and finish the area on both the sides first, and then come back and then work at the center. Mostly the center part is 90% of the time it is the most important part in the tattoo, and I keep it for later. So what I do, I finish the elements which are around, and then I come over it. The other reason I do this is if I'm working on either side of the tattoo, I have space where I can, while cleaning the tattoo with a stencil, I have more space where the stencil is not there, where nothing is gonna go off the skin, and so I don't lose my stencil. But if I come right at the center and start working, I will have to either wipe it on the upside, right side, or the left side, or the bottom side. In that case, you might lose the stencil which is around. So you don't want to do that. I don't do it. So I either go right or left, whichever is comfortable side. Finish that area where you will be able to wipe while cleaning on the areas where there is no stencil, so you don't lose on the stencil, and then you come towards the center. Also, it gives you more and more time to build and understand the skin response and the overall feel of the tattoo, so that once you pass like couple of hours, like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then you start working on the main area, that is the right time, because but by that time you know how the skin reacts, responds, what kind of shades are working, what is not working, and then you don't have to try out anything there. You just know how things are, and you can focus there. You can put your 100% focus there. So you can try it out. If you have any complaints about you're losing your stencil while working, maybe you have to change the way you go with the tattoo. The flow has to be changed so that you don't lose your stencil. And at the same time, it helps you to keep your tattoo clean. Normally what I do is I will when I'm working on the areas which I'm talking about, either the right side or the left side, whichever area I'm working on, I will take a break before I work on the main area if it is the center area. So in this case, if you see I'm working on the roses, so I'll try to finish the roses, and then I'll come towards the center, the face, which is more important for me. And there, before I start working on it, I'll take a small break. I'll just refresh myself and then come back and just work on the face. So this is the good way to go with any tattoo, any piece. This part where I'm working on a rose is quite helpful for you to understand how the liner works for shading and how I render the tattoo. So this is what I'm talking about, that I go layer by layer, I render the tattoo. I don't finish one part in one pass. I have multiple passes going on and on till I get the right result. At the same time, you don't damage more skin. It is, I mean, you can see the skin is not red. I've been working on it for quite a while. I've come back with the Magnum right now. If you see, I've changed the machine, and it's a 7 regular Magnum I'm working with. What I'm doing here is I'm softening the shades which have been created by the liner, and I'm doing a overlay layer. So what I do is I mark all the details with the liner first, and then I come back with the Magnum over it. So it looks more realistic, it looks more authentic in that way. So all the markings and all the small details are done by the liner, and they stay there, and when I come back with a Magnum and put an overlay on it, all the textures will have a kind of shadow over it, but it doesn't lose the details. So it gets darker as it is. So in the smaller areas, if I marked any darker part, it's going to get darker, but at the same time the highlight is going to get darker, but not to that extent. So the overall texture looks more natural when you work in this way. So you can do texturing with the liner first and then come back and do the overlay with Magnum. That is what I'm doing here. I normally get questions that I don't use the circular hand motion with Magnums. I do use sometimes, but I use a lot of different styles or hand motions to create a certain type of texture, required texture. So mostly you will not see me using circular hand motion. I use only when I have to do or fill the darker areas. So wherever you see really dark patch, I will use a circular hand motion using Magnum. But wherever you see an overlay layer where it is only like 30-40% black, I have to put over the area, I will use a different style. So my style is more like a painting. So it's like a charcoal in hand or maybe a pencil in hand, kind of chalk, and then or maybe brush you can say, and then I just keep painting. See, I want to create a darker shade there, and I had a bit of circular hand motion there. So that's how I do it. There's a similar style, the way I use liner, I use Magnum. I change the pressure levels as per the requirement. So wherever there is light requirement, as a light shade, I will go little speed and little lighter, less pressure. And wherever it's darker, I will have little circular motions, little more pressure, and small circular shapes I'll follow with. I'm back with the liner, and I guess I'm gonna tighten the shades now in the rows, so they'll have details now again, and that's how I work. I mean, as I said, layer by layer. Some people might find that I'm putting too much time in working on this rows, or maybe putting a lot of time in creating this small rows, but it is worth putting every second in this, because the final result is why you're watching this video. The final result of this tattoo matters. Doesn't matter how much time it took. What people are going to see once it is online, or once people see your tattoo, is how is the work. They will not ask you how much time you spend. they will ask you, ask the person or your client that who is the artist. If it is good, you get more business. If it is bad, you lose a customer. The same goes when you show your work online. I mean, people are not going to ask you, nobody is going to ask you how much time it took. They will either appreciate the piece if it is really good, or you won't hear anything from anyone. And the most important thing to me, for me, what matters is how do I feel once I finish the tattoo, whether I'm happy or whether I'm not happy. So rest of the things are important, but not as important as this one. It is all about self-satisfaction. If I'm not happy, so I'm not to the purpose of life. Once the piece is ready, once this tattoo is ready, I should feel proud and happy and should be excited that I feel like genius. I should feel like I'm the one, and the one better than the yesterday one. That is what I mean. So every tattoo matters to me, and it has to be better than the last one. And that's why I put more and more time. Try to make it as perfect as possible.